So the man who led the U.S. response to the COVID pandemic is on Capitol Hill today, as we've been telling you. Dr. Anthony Fauci was called to testify before a Senate committee, but the hearing turned into a showdown between him and Republican Senator Rand Paul. Take a listen.
So we'd like to know what was the rationale, what was the discussion, how, what went behind the decision to fund the research in Wuhan. How did you come to the conclusion that a totalitarian country would be capable of doing this in a BSL-2 lab, a lab that lacked the security? What was the reasoning? And are you sorry, basically, for making the decision? Would you, given another chance, say, well, gosh, circumstances now, as I know it, maybe it wasn't a wise thing. Can you explain to the committee why you chose to fund this dangerous research in China?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution.
All right, I want to bring in Arthur Allen, senior professor for KFF Health News. Arthur, thank you so much for your time today, because you've been closely watching this hearing, right? Was it at all surprising to you that Dr. Fauci is invoking the Fifth Amendment?
Yeah, it was surprising. I mean, it's always surprising to see Dr. Fauci not speaking, because he's someone who's very happy to talk about anything having to do with public health and science. And so for his career, in a sense, to come down to a matter of legal issues rather than science is, I think, to people who, supported him or think that he was trying to do a good job, it's kind of sad. And of course, to his opponents, they were kind of gleeful about it.
And so I guess the next question is, where do things go from here? Say if Dr. Fauci is to be prosecuted for how he handled the COVID-19 pandemic, what message would that send to people in his scientific community?
Yeah, I mean, I think it would be a very, be kind of a hard, unpleasant message. And already we've seen people around him, people funded by NIAID, and one of his aides was arrested and sort of stripped to his underwear and driven to the police station. This is a man in his 80s. And I think, there's already a feeling among people, especially those who do this kind of work with dangerous viruses, that, they have targets on their backs. They face arrest or they face losing their funding, and it's a difficult situation. I don't know whether he could I doubt he could be successfully prosecuted. That doesn't mean that he wouldn't be charged. Maybe in some state they would say that make a case claiming that he was responsible for COVID, but it would be such a long chain of evidence that's unclear, and really you just couldn't pin it on him. I don't think it would work, but it doesn't mean they're not going to try. And Rand Paul did say they're going to have a vote next week to hold him in contempt of Congress.
Still a difficult situation anyway for him to be in. Arthur Allen, thank you so much for your insight. We appreciate your time.
Sure.